Today's Explore takes me to the town of Pittsford, New York, just southeast of the city of Rochester. There is a forgotten relic of the city's earlier days in this town. A large stone structure has laid somewhat hidden, disused, and decaying for a century. The drive out Monroe Avenue takes you past Pittsford Plaza. If you venture behind this busy shopping center, you will find a strange, long-forgotten piece of Rochester and New York State history. A stone monument dating from the 1820s, when Rochester was just 35 years old. It is the remains of lock number 62, one of 83 locks that once dotted the original path of the famous Erie Canal, a path that once paralleled Monroe Avenue, northwest toward the city of Rochester. Behind me is one of the original locks of the Erie Canal here in Rochester, New York. Right behind the Pittsford Plaza, long forgotten about, long disused. Probably disused since, I think it was 1918 that they rerouted the canal and became the New York State Barge Canal south of Rochester. But that is one of the lock channels. The original canal locks were built 90 feet long and 15 feet wide, and were designed to accommodate canal boats up to 61 feet in length. This plaque shows how the structure likely looked when the canal was completed in the 1820s, when locks had only a single channel. Canal traffic rose rapidly, and throughout the 1800s, the state of New York made improvements. Beginning in the 1830s, one by one, the state added a second channel to each lock, allowing boats to move in both directions at the same time. It wasn't until 1875 that every lock finally had a second channel. Locks were lengthened too, first from the original 90 feet long to 110 feet. In the 1880s, authorities began a construction program that doubled the length of one chamber of many Erie Canal locks to 220 feet to accommodate the so-called double-header boats. By 1891, Lock 62's new, longer lock chamber had been completed. Canal boats would have come down from the area behind the camera, proceeded down into the lock. It's kind of a holding area over here on that side. And then on the right side, that's where they would actually pass through and go up the canal upstream. As the 1900s were ushered in, the canal was proving too narrow and too shallow. Widening and deepening the canal was not practical through the heart of Rochester. A new route was chosen, and construction began that would take the canal south of the city. In 1918, the new, wider and deeper canal opened for business, and this 14-mile section of original Erie Canal was permanently closed, abandoned, and, over the last 100 years, has largely faded from memory. Looking at this structure today conjures up images of long, narrow boats being slowly pulled by mules up the canal, between these stone walls, and into the lock. Now not much more than an interesting memento to this once vital transportation system. After nearly 200 years, these iron links used to help hold these stone blocks together still remain, still doing their job. Slots carved to accommodate the hardware and hinges of huge lock gates remind visitors of an earlier time. Recesses in the stone walls can be seen here, where lock gates swung back and out of the way when opened. This is what remains of the western, 220-foot long lock chamber. The town of Pittsford has tried to bring this forgotten Erie Canal remnant back into the public eye, but it remains hidden behind a busy shopping center, a fading and distant shadow of what it must have looked like when this was part of a once active, thriving Erie Canal system. I, for one, would like to see it better tended to and preserved. But I have not lived in this city for more than 40 years, and ultimately the decision will be up to those that live in the region. Let's hope they make the right decision. Remember, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride, and thanks for watching.